1 Kings 12. Rehoboam traveled to Shechem, for all Israel had gathered in Shechem to make Rehoboam king. When Jeroboam, son of Nebat, heard the news, he was still in Egypt, where he had fled from King Solomon, and had been living ever since. They sent for him, and Jeroboam and the whole Israelite assembly came and spoke to Rehoboam, saying, "Your father made us work too hard. Now, if you lighten the demands he made and don't make us work as hard, we will serve you." He said to them, "Go away for 3 days, then return to me." So the people went away. So fascinating thing here. He is trying to give a wise answer here. By giving himself time to reflect on all of this. Go away and I will give you an answer. Like, why don't you give an answer now? Or just, okay, let me get counsel and I'll come right back. But he says, "Oh, I want to take 3 days on this." I think it's more time than is needed. Anyway, not sure if this is wise to say go away for 3 days. I mean, he at least is taking time to think about it. He's not giving a rash decision. King Rehoboam consulted the older advisors who had served his father Solomon when he had been alive. Good choice. He asked them, "How do you advise me to answer these people?" He said to them, "Today, if you will be a servant to these people and grant their requests, speaking kind words to them, they will be your servants from this time forward." But Rehoboam rejected their advice and consulted the young advisers who served him, with whom he had grown up. He asked them, "How do you advise me to respond to these people who said to me, 'Lessen the demands your father placed on us'?" The young advisers with whom Rehoboam had grown up said to him, "Say to these people who have said to you, 'Your father made us work hard, but now lighten our burden,' say to them, 'I'm a lot harsher than my father. My father imposed heavy demands on you. I will make them even heavier. My father punished you with ordinary whips. I will punish you with whips that really sting your flesh.'" Okay, I thought that was supposed to be scorpions. Yes, "My father punished you with whips, but I will punish you with scorpions." Why would you not translate it that way? Scorpions might allude to some type of torture using poisonous insects, but may also refer to a type of whip that inflicts an especially biting, painful wound, whips with pieces of sharp metal. Either way, with whips that sting your flesh, every whip stings your flesh. I'm sorry. Like, it stings to get whipped. It's just painful. Like, the scorpion thing makes it, oh my goodness, you're ridiculous here. Like, sorry, bad choice to just say whips that really sting your flesh. I mean, sorry. Scorpions is supposed to be scary. So we already know that Jeroboam is supposed to get the northern kingdom. We already know that. There is a chance here that it may not happen immediately. Rehoboam has been given an opportunity to maintain the kingdom by giving a lesser load to the people. Watch me whip, watch me nay. So he asked for good advice from people who had advised his father, and they give him good advice. He's like, "Yeah, I don't like that. So let me go talk to my boys who are going to benefit because they grew up with me. So every choice I make, they're looking out for themselves, not looking out for good advice for me." So Jeroboam and all the people reported to Rehoboam on the 3rd day, just as the king had ordered when he said, "Return to me on the 3rd day." The king responded to the people harshly. He rejected the advice of the older men and followed the advice of the younger ones. He said, "My father imposed heavy demands on you. I will make them even heavier. My father punished you with ordinary whips. I will punish you with whips of scorpions." The king refused to listen to the people because the Lord was instigating this turn of events so that he might bring to pass a prophetic announcement he had made through Ahijah the Shilonite to Jeroboam, son of Nebat. So God is using this to instigate things, him seeking advice, but not listening to it. So just like with Pharaoh, who's hardening his heart, who doesn't go and do things, here he's not willing to listen to good advice. He instead listens to bad advice, and he rejects the promise so that the kingdom can be torn away. When all Israel saw the king refuse to listen to the people answered the king, "We have no portion in David, no share in the son of Jesse. Return to your homes, O Israel. Now look after your own dynasty, O David." So Israel returned to their homes. Rehoboam continued to rule over the Israelites who lived in the cities of Judah. King Rehoboam sent Adoniram, the supervisor of the work crews, out of all of them, but all Israel stoned him to death. So Rehoboam is sending an entourage or an emissary, and they stone him to death. King Rehoboam managed to jump into his chariot and escape to Jerusalem. So, he's got to run for his life here because he's done messed up, Aaron. So Israel has been in rebellion against the Davidic dynasty to this very day. When all Israel heard that Jeroboam had returned, they summoned him and assembled and made him king over Israel. No one except the tribe of Judah remained loyal to the Davidic dynasty. When Rehoboam arrived in Jerusalem, he summoned 180,000 skilled warriors from all of Judah and the tribe of Benjamin to attack Israel and restore the kingdom of Rehoboam, son of Solomon. But God told Shemaiah the prophet, "Say to the king Rehoboam, son of Solomon of Judah, and to all Judah and Benjamin, as well as the rest of the people, this is what the Lord has said. Do not attack and make war with your brothers, the Israelites. Each of you go home. Indeed, this thing has happened because of me." So they obeyed the Lord's message. They went home in keeping with the Lord's message. So this is fascinating. Rehoboam goes home. He does what you normally would do. You squash a rebellion that's coming against you. You gather your troops. Notice now we have Benjamin mentioned there. So we have Judah and Benjamin. They're the two in this that are the tribe of Judah. The kingdom of Judah is Judah and Benjamin. They gather. They're going to go attack. There's a prophet that's sent and says, no, God is doing this. This is of God. Don't attack your brothers. Go home. And they do. So they would not follow, or he didn't follow the wise advice of the wise old men, but he does indeed follow the words of the prophet, which is good. Jeroboam built up Shechem in the Ephraimite hill country and lived there. From there he went out and built up Penuel. So why is he not living in the palace that his father built? So he built up Shechem in the hill country, and he lived there. See, it says he lived there. So he goes to live in the hill country of Ephraim. He's not living in Jerusalem. Jeroboam then thought to himself, now the Davidic dynasty could regain the kingdom if, if these people go up to offer... Oh, sorry, wait. This is Jeroboam, not Rehoboam. My mistake. So, common thing. Okay, so here's how you can keep them track. Here's how you can keep track of Jeroboam and Rehoboam and who's in which kingdom. J comes before R in the alphabet. So if it comes first, it's the northern kingdom. If it comes second in the alphabet, it's the southern kingdom. This works for like 90 of every time there are two people mentioned, or there's things in order that you have. Alphabetically in English will get you to which one came first or which one's in the northern kingdom. It works, like I said, 90% of the time when you got two things going on. How do you know which one's which? Alphabet actually helps you in some cases. So that's how I remember it. Jeroboam's in the north, Rehoboam is in the south. So I misread this, and he goes, built up Shechem in the Ephraimite hill country. It's not Rehoboam. So now here is, remember, Jeroboam is promised, if you serve me like David instead of like Solomon, if you serve me like David instead of Solomon, now the Davidic dynasty could regain the kingdom. So he just had bad advice, bad thinking in the southern kingdom, lost you 10 tribes. If these people go up to offer sacrifices to the Lord's temple in Jerusalem, their loyalty could shift to their former master, King Rehoboam of Judah. They might kill me and return to their king, Rehoboam of Judah. So what is this? This is fear that God's promise will not be kept. He is fearful that the Lord's promise will not be kept because the people might return. If they're going and worshiping God in the southern kingdom, maybe they're going to go and they're going to return to the king of the southern kingdom. After the king had consulted with his advisors, he made 2 golden calves. Then he said to the people, "Is it too much trouble for you to go up to Jerusalem? Look, Israel, here are your gods who brought you up from the land of Egypt." He put one in Bethel. Bethel means the house of God. And the other in Dan. Dan is the tribe that disappears and moves all over the place. This caused Israel to send. The people went to Bethel and Dan to worship the calves. Welcome in, lady. Appreciate it. So, why does not Jeroboam go and send for the prophet? A prophet is the one who instructed him from God. Why does he not inquire of God? Why does he not inquire of the priest? Why does he not go and have the prophet come and say, "Hey, look, you told me to do this. Now I have this, but I'm worried about this. Inquire of God for me. What should I do?" Nope. Fear causes him to act out of fear, causes him to make a bad decision, and it could not be more possibly bad. Why do I say that? Because he says, "Look, Israel, here are your gods who brought you up on the land of Egypt." He makes the exact mistake that they make with the golden calf next to Mount Sinai. When they are there, they've just made a promise to God. They've just said, "We're going to have a covenant." 40 days later, they're violated it. Like, it was just barely over a month, they're violating it. Here, he's just gotten the kingdom, he's just gotten established, and he's like, wait a minute, I could lose all of this. So how do I keep it? I keep the people following. So again, he's making this. Why doesn't he inquire of God and say, "Hey, is there another place I could dwell?" Or, "Hey, how do we do this? Hey, could we reinstitute the tabernacle? Hey, could I build another dwelling place for you, God, to dwell here in the northern kingdom?" Does none of it. None of it. And on top of it, he goes to Bethel, which is the house of God, to build a place to not worship God. He built temples on the high places and appointed as priests common people who were not Levites. Why does he appoint common people? Because the Levites may still be loyal to God, so they're not willing to do this. They may not be willing to follow after him because they're like, "No, we're not supposed to do that." Jeroboam inaugurated a festival on the 15th day of the 8th month, like the festival in Judah. So, a fake festival. On the altar in Bethel, he offered sacrifices to the calf he had made. In Bethel, he appointed priests for the high places he had made. On the 15th day of the 8th month, a day he had arbitrarily chosen, Jeroboam offered sacrifices on the altar he had made in Bethel. He inaugurated a festival for the Israelites and went up to the altar to offer sacrifices. So he's copying a fake facsimile of what is happening, of the things that were happening in the southern kingdom. He's doing them in the northern kingdom, so the people will stay in the northern kingdom, not travel to the southern kingdom, and he will not lose his kingdom. So he's putting his faith and trust in false worship of false gods instead of trusting the true God, which is the one that made promises in him. I do not know how to spell facsimile. Copy. A facsimile is a copy. And sometimes you use facsimile in a good way, and sometimes it's a bad way. This is a bad way. All right, what were we supposed to read through today? Through 13. All right, looks like we're going to make it. I think we will make it. Yes, it looks like we'll make it. I do have a meeting at 10. That's why I'm saying that. Any thoughts, questions on that? It's like, it's just the kingdom's torn away and immediately it falls away from God. Wow. Why did the people not rebel against Jeroboam? Why do they not say, hey, Jeroboam, yeah, not cool, man. Let's inquire of God. Why is there nobody advising? And maybe there is, but we don't get the story because he doesn't follow it. Okay. We'll keep going.